Hey, what's up, everyone? It is Jonathan here, and we got some NASCAR news to talk about and where the NASCAR series is going for a street course next year. According to Bob Pockrass, they're going to San Diego, as further reports have announced. They're going to be racing on the uh, naval base uh, in 2026. It will be June 19th to 21st. All three series are going to be there. Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup are going to be doing it. And this is to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the U.S. Navy. Um, the course is still to be announced. I know they had a promo go out and they kind of flashed a layout, but it's not 100% yet. They're actually using iRacing, which is surprising because I didn't know if they would allow iRacing to be at that facility to take a scan to see what they need. I mean, a lot of it can be done without scanning it, but I think that sometimes you need to be hands on at the place. So it is a training facility. It's not like an actual like base per se. So maybe that's why they're allowing this to be more flexible. But it's roughly going to be a 3 mile course, and it's definitely it used tarmac aprons of runways, but not like the runway themselves. It looks like from that video, and if they use any of that, you might use partially the runway, but not the whole thing. Maybe they at the end of it. Um, and of course, Bob's saying, expect about tens of thousands of fans to be able to go there. And a lot of people are like, "Whoa, it's a naval base. Probably we're not gonna allow fans. It's gonna be like, kind of like what IndyCar did. That was a thermal club. But no, they're gonna allow fans to be in there. I'm pretty sure you. Oh, look, let's be very clear. They're doing this. I'm pretty sure they're going to have all the extra stuff, planes and whatever, not there. Okay, or they're gonna be locked up, obviously, or whatever. Um, Still, this I like. All right, and the reason why I like this versus Chicago, look, yes, nothing happened in those 3 years, and the one thing I was worried about was safety. In those 3 years of Chicago, nothing generally happened. Okay, yeah, there was sometimes someone was stealing things and weird stuff, but nothing harmful happened. So I get that. However, this is on a military base. You can't do anything stupid, really, and expect to have a good event for yourself, right? Um, I just like that when as long as the drivers are going to be secured and they're going to be okay. That's why I don't mind about doing street course, even though it's not really in the streets 100%, right? Yes, they're using road pavement per se, but they're not using 100% streets. They're not directly in San Diego, but either way, um, this is cool to do. Now, it is only for 2026. They're not saying they won't come back the next year after that. They maybe even say, with this, they could probably go ahead and go to other like military bases that have these areas. One particular track I wouldn't mind seeing. It's actually airports, not actual like a Navy place, but it's called St. Pete, and IndyCar runs there, and they use the actual runway. Now I don't know if they can. That's the only time they can ever use it like that as a racetrack. Maybe they can allow it to happen because it's a racetrack and then it goes into the streets, right? So I don't know if they could do 2 times a year or not, but that yeah, it is a very tight course, so maybe the Cup cars can't do it. I have to see. I guess I have to look at it again, see how tight it is. If it's too tight, then no. Of course, here just from looking at the satellite view of it and kind of the course and layout, they're gonna have tons of room. So it's not like they can make the walls probably as wide as they want, narrow as they want. So yeah, I'm actually excited for this. I'm really excited to see what they can do at this kind of place, and it's going to be, like they say, they're talking about tarmac, using a tarmac apron, runways and stuff, um, and things like that. But like they're going to be on different like kinds of asphalt, concrete. So yeah, I'm actually for this one. I'm actually pretty excited for it, and seeing what they did in Chicago proves that they can race on the streets and nothing major happened. So it's now just kind of more or less like find the layout, what works, and it's a 3 mile race or racetrack that is roughly gonna be 3 miles. So if anything, is trying to find the good distance for it. Now it is going to be again June 19th to the 21st. We thought this was replacing 4th of July, but since 4th of July is kind of also to celebrate the 150th anniversary of the Navy and everything like that, I'm pretty sure they couldn't really do it on that day or that weekend. So that kind of leads to another question here. What is going to take over the July 4th weekend? Now, of course, we've had rumors that Chicagoland is coming back. That because the Chicago Street Course is not going to be back next year, that Chicagoland will be kind of reamped and freshened up and raced there in 2026. But no confirmation on that yet. So let's have a little fun here. What do we think is going to take that spot? Me personally, I've been hearing a lot of people talking about, hey, let's put Daytona back in July, move the Atlanta race to the regular season because that provide really good racing at night when it did that. I'd say, yeah, I guess it wouldn't be any different than Daytona. I mean, you still have a big rack and it can change how an outcome is if someone making it in or not. But I don't know if, they established so much at Daytona now. I don't know if they're going to really budge on that date. My guess is it's either 3 tracks. Either they go back to Road America, okay, or they go to Chicagoland, or they move the Atlanta race into 4th of July. Now, which then they would fill in that gap, which I'm trying to figure out here. I'm going to be right back, guys. I want to see what was in June 19th to 21st before July. I'll be right back. All right, so I just looked it up. It was this year was Pocono. It was June 22nd, but around that time frame for date is it was Pocono. So here's my prediction, my theory. They're gonna have the straight course that time, that date. They're gonna move Pocono down into June 28th, and then they're gonna move Atlanta into July 4th. I think Daytona stays in its spot. I think that's what they're gonna do. All right, because I think that's all they have to do as far as I know, right? Because they're taking one away, which is Chicago course. They're putting one back in. Yeah. So I think that's what I think they're just gonna do is move Poconos down to the June 28th time frame and have the July 4th weekend at Atlanta, or in this case, excuse me, Echo Park Speedway. Did I say Atlanta? All right. Anyways, I think that is what's gonna happen. I could be wrong. They could decide to change it up. But again, because at this point in time, if you're taking one date away and just to add to one back, it doesn't really change the schedule per se. You're just shuffling things around a little bit. That would mean if people say, "Oh, I want Road America back." Well, that means you have to take away another date, right? Because if you want Road America to be July 4th, well, that means you got to take the land date away or Pocono date away or something, right? I don't think they're going to do that, obviously. I think Yeah, so that's actually I didn't think about that because you're only taking yeah. I'm just starting to think about this, guys, and sorry about that, but you're not placing like 2 or 3 dates. You're only placing one. You're getting rid of the Chicago Street Course, right? Well, what's going to replace the Chicago Street Course? The San Diego one. That's what you're doing. That's it. The date might change, but if anything, again, you just move those dates down if that's what they want to do. I know. Again, I know a lot of people would like to have Chicagoland back, and also have Road America, but then you have to give up something. So, if anything, you would have to give up either a second Kansas date. Um, you know they're not going to give up any Daytona dates. That's not going to happen. So yeah, we'll see. Either way, I think this news is good. I think this is going to be pretty cool to see next year, and we'll see what happens, guys. That's going to do it for this one. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button if you're new to this channel and want to get the latest NASCAR news and NASCAR content. Consider subscribing to this channel. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you for the next one.